Hey, how's it going? Hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday evening. I just wanted to hop on here. I feel like venting a little bit. I don't want to turn this into a venting platform, but I'm just a little upset. And if I don't get it out, it's just gonna fester and tear me up on the inside. Um, so I had a cleaning client, very, very nice family. Um, I ended. They had booked me for 2 hours on one day, and I ended up getting a very, very bad headache. I don't do very well with heat, and in Fairfield, the heat is pretty intense sometimes and very dry, and I don't do very well when there's a sudden temperature change. So going from a extremely air conditioned building into the outside where it's like super hot can trigger a migraine, can cause nosebleeds and things like that. Um, and so I was cleaning their apartment, and I stepped outside to throw away some trash, and I immediately started getting a headache. And I think the allergies was also playing a factor, because I was also feeling a little dizzy. I'd taken some allergy medicine, so I was feeling a little dizzy. My head was pounding, and so I was already there for almost 2 hours, and all I was able to do was to clean the kitchen, and then I talked to the customer and told the lady that what was going on, and asked if I can come back the next day, and she was okay with that. And so the next day I came back. I was feeling a lot better, still kind of off, when it's like your first day of recovery from like a really bad cold or a flu or having a really bad headache, and you just feel off. So that's how I was feeling. So the headache was gone, allergies was under control, but I just felt a little off. But I definitely felt well enough to go back there um, and finish. So I had finished like 90% of the kitchen the first day, and then when I went back the next day, I finished what I needed to do in the kitchen. And ironically, when I went back the next day, the kitchen was already a mess, but I had already cleaned it. So I tidied up. I did what I didn't do the day before, and I tidied up a bit, and then I moved on. I went to the next bathroom, or I went to the main bathroom, and the main bathroom was just, man, it was just messy. So, and that took 2 hours, and it's not a large bathroom, so that kind of gives you an idea of like how messy it was. Um, like I said, the family's super nice. The grandmother is super nice. They have really cute dogs, um, but they just were not as tidy as I think people should be. But whatever. So again, it took me 2 hours to clean the bathroom, and no, it took me an hour to clean the bathroom, and then I went and I did the second bathroom, which was just as bad. Um, and that was the master bathroom and the bedroom. And after I cleaned the first bathroom, the grandmother was like, "Oh my God, that bathroom has never been that clean. Has not been that clean since we moved in." And when I moved on to the master, the client was in the bedroom, and so I'm cleaning the master bathroom, and afterwards, she's like, um, "You do a really good job," and I'm like, "Thank you." And they had piles of garbage like all throughout the bedroom, and I didn't get all of them. I thought I did, but I didn't. But I had already known that I was coming back for a third day because I didn't get the other bedroom. Um, so I got most of the garbage out of the master bedroom, cleaned out the master bathroom. And so when I went back the next day to take care of the other bedroom, by that point the kitchen was just like, it was as if I wasn't even had didn't even do any work there. But I can't keep cleaning it if they're not going to pay me for it. Um, so I immediately went to the teenager's bedroom, and let me tell you, teenager's bedroom is all I will say. It was, yeah, fast food wrappers from months ago, bottled drinks that have been there for months, spills that have been there for months. Um, Sorry, it's a car pulling up beside me. Um, and then there was so much garbage underneath the bed, so much clothes, dirty clothes. I ended up walking out with like those big, I think they're 13-gallon, those big garbage bags, the 13-gallon ones, the ones that you usually have for like outdoors and things like that, backyards and things like that. I walked out of that bedroom with, I think it was a total of 9 completely full to the brim. Thank God it's plastic because it was pushing the limits. Full 9 bags full of garbage. Um, and and that was just from the one bedroom. And you know, under those conditions, you really can't expect me. Under those conditions and under the time frame, you cannot expect me to go from what it was to a completely immaculate, pristine, you can eat off the floor. Um, but I did the best I can, and I assure you, um, it was 1,000 times better than what it was before I started cleaning. 1,000 times better. All the garbage had been taken out, walls and doors have been wiped, the bathrooms are, clean. You can, in addition to the 9 bags of garbage, there is about one, two, three, 4 or 5 bags of dirty clothes that I bagged up and put in the closet. Um, I thought I did a good job. I thought they even said I did a good job. And then I was looking through my emails today, and I got an email from the cleaning app management, saying that they had contacted them and complained and said that I didn't do a good job. And I'm so disappointed in that because they were such nice people, and they were talking. I thought we had established a nice rapport. They could talk to me about anything. We had talked about a little bit about personal lives. Um, the bathroom walls were black because they buy cheap candles, and the soot from the candles were turning the walls black. And I even brought that to their attention, and even gave them some candles that I make out of 100% soy. Gave them, and I told them these will be cleaner for the walls, cleaner for the environment, which means it'll be cleaner for them. They won't be breathing in the clean soot, and they still. I cleaned off the black soot off the walls, and they didn't even have the decency to reach out to me. They contacted management, and that just makes me so angry. And the managers, it was all through email, and the managers were like, we checked all your reviews, so I know this is sort of a one-off. But be careful in the future. And it just makes me angry that they would do that. Like, I literally was breathing in moldy stuff. Things dripped on my clothes from up above because I had knocked over an open soda bottle that had been open and there for so long that it started becoming moldy. And when I moved something, it shook the shelf above in the closet, and it fell over, and it didn't spill on me, it oozed on me. That's what I was dealing with. And afterwards, the teenager was like, "Oh, hey," I think it was her cousin, "Hey, so and so's purse is here, the one that she was looking for. Oh, the laptop that I've been looking for." All in the bedroom, things that they hadn't seen in months. I found it because I cleaned, because that's how long it's been. And they have the nerve to complain to management about me. I had another cleaning gig today. It was only 2 hours long, and 2 hours, I gave them the best service, like I give all my customers the best service that I can, and a simple 2 hours, and they gave me an additional $25 tip. That's the type of work I do. That's the type of gratitude that I receive. So I'm just so upset. And I cannot believe I'm actually saying this, but I cannot wait to return to Amazon. I never thought in a million years I'd say that, because when I was working at Amazon, I just hated that job. It triggered so many depression issues and anxiety issues and frustration. But I am actually looking forward to going back to that so that I don't have to do this anymore. I'm just going to continue to work with the clients that I've established that like me, and that I know I can continue working with. And that'll bring in the extra income, because the Amazon jobs are only part-time. But it's just so frustrating. You're doing a good job. You think you're doing a good job. They even tell you you're doing a good job. They're so nice to you, to your face, and then they turn around and do this. Part of me wants to reach out to them, and say, hey, I received an email from management expressing concerns. But another part of me is like, I start Amazon in 2 weeks. I have other cleaning clients. I'm just going to move forward and not bother. I don't know. Let me know what you guys would do. I'm just so frustrated. Um, I'm laughing because I'm sitting outside of Domino's Pizza, and when I get to this level of frustration, um, the weird thing about with me, my personality and my depression, when anything goes wrong, even though I know I'm in the right, I have a tendency to beat myself up, because that's how I grew up. Everything was always my fault. Even when, it's like, there could be an earthquake and I would start apologizing. I'm so sorry your house is in ruins. I don't, as apologizing as if I had something to do with the earthquake. That's how my mentality is. I always think things are my fault, even when I know they're not. Even when I know I've done the best that I can, I apologize profusely, and I feel so bad. And there's part of me, I feel bad that they were not satisfied with my work, and I'm angry that they complained to the management and didn't come to me. And it's like all these emotions and thoughts are going through my head. And I chuckled earlier because, as per usual, when I get to this point, the only thing that's going to make me feel better is food. And I'm sitting outside of Domino's Pizza waiting for them to message me to let me know that it's ready, so I can eat my sorrows away. And I know it's not a good coping mechanism. And I think because I've been getting a lot of like really challenging cleaning clients, and I've just been grinning and bearing it. Today's emails were just like the straw that broke the camel's back, and I'm okay with just sort of like eating my anger and frustration just today. And then tomorrow will be a brand new day, and I have another cleaning clients, and I have more potential to sell Dominoes, and I have more opportunities to sign up for pop-up events. So today I'm just gonna eat and veg, and then tomorrow's a brand new day. But I just needed to vent. As always, thank you guys for listening. Oh, I'm up to 42 now. I know these aren't very large numbers, but it makes me happy that I'm slowly but surely building this, this tribe, and people are subscribing and returning and contributing to the conversation. And I know, and you guys know, my goal is my most current goal is 50 subscriptions, 50 subscribers, and I'm at 42. I went from like 38 to 42 in a matter of 2 days. So I really appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, please take a moment to subscribe. And if you are resonating with how I'm feeling and what I'm going through today, share what what you're going through. If you have a similar experience, I'd love to commiserate. um, so yeah, I think my pizza's ready. I'm gonna keep this short. This is the first time I've kept this short. Even though, I've always said I'm gonna keep it short, 10, 15 minutes, and then I'm like going on to like the 29th minute, but I have just over 15 minutes here. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep it short and say goodbye. Thanks for letting me vent. Thanks for listening. Um, I try not to talk about my clients, especially the bad ones or the bad situations, because you never know if they're listening, and I don't want to put other people's business out there. But this just really, really bothered me, and so I'm hoping to keep it as generic as possible. You'll never, I'm not going to talk about, I'm not going to say names, not going to say locations or anything, but it was just I thought I did a good job considering it's such a bad. Um, it was a lot of work, a lot of work. And, they had only booked 2 hours. All that work for 2 hours, in a matter of 2 hours, just ridiculous. And, okay, I don't want to start venting because then it's going to turn into another long video, and I don't want to do that to you guys. Thanks again for listening. Thanks for letting me vent. Thanks for always being there. Share your comments or reach out to me and DM me if you want to talk to me personally. A lot of you guys seem to do that, and I'm cool with that too. Please subscribe if you haven't. And I was going to make a video, another cooking video, either shrimp tacos or pasta with shrimp. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow because tonight is all about the pizza. Thanks again. I will talk to you guys later. Have a great night. Bye.